Welcome back. A live look at beautiful San Francisco right now. Many just opening their eyes and taking a look outside. If you do, you got a beautiful sight there. San Francisco, the home of the popular clothing company Levi Strauss & Company, founded back in 1853 in the Golden Gate City. And who didn't own or does own a pair of Levi's jeans? Well, speaking of Levi's, she was a Levi's brand president and on track to be the jeans company's CEO. But in February of 2021, Jennifer Say began expressing doubts about COVID, school closures, and even penned this op-ed, a piece of it here, quote, "The lasting trauma of school closures on a generation of children." She was attacked. She was falsely labeled a COVID denier who wanted to get former President Donald Trump reelected. So Levi's offered her an ultimatum: stop speaking out or find a new job. Former Levi's executive and author of forthcoming memoir, Levi's Unbuttoned, Jennifer Say, joining us live. Jennifer, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your story. I know a lot of viewers want to hear about this. So to bring this up to speed, you chose to quit. It's reported you turned down a $1 million severance package. Not many would do that, especially in this economy. Talk to me about this moment in time, what you went through, and how why you chose to decide to turn down a severance package.
Well, I'd spent 2 years speaking out about the harms of long-term school closures. I actually started in March, excuse me, of 2020, as soon as schools closed down. And San Francisco was the first district to close schools. And while we may have some forgiveness for the first couple of weeks, by fall 2020, we absolutely knew that kids were at very little risk, but the harms of school closures were potentially quite grave. And we're seeing that all play out now. And so I was very outspoken about this. I was concerned about the 50,000 public school children in San Francisco. By that fall, my peers at Levi's had sent their kids back to in-person school in San Francisco, in private school. And, pushing me to stay quiet on this subject felt to me like saying their children deserved school, but these other children, the majority of which were low-income children, did not deserve the same advantage. And so I did not stay quiet. And in fact, I sort of upped the ante starting in the spring of 21. And eventually I was told there would not be a place for me at the company any longer. But I chose to quit, not accept the severance, so that I didn't have to sign an NDA, so I could speak out about this suppression of dissent and free speech.
Wow. And here you are speaking out about that. What is it, and I'll give you a platform, what is it that you do want to speak out about? Is it just school closure?
Well, I think it's important that there's accountability about the harms of these policies, lockdowns, as well as school closures and the ongoing restrictions to children. But I think the thing that is most paramount, in fact, is speaking out about the need for free speech and open debate and dissent, because the fact is anyone who spoke out about these issues was vilified and accused of wrongthink. We were accused of being racist, and therefore no public conversation could happen. If that conversation had happened, it's very possible schools would have opened much sooner and these harms wouldn't have happened. That's why speech is so important. And the only thing that promotes more free speech is speech. So that's why I'm here talking to you.
I want to look at this. We're talking about schools, COVID school closures impacting children. The Nation's report card, I don't know if you've seen that. It was way down. Essentially, everyone's behind a grade. But this one, a recent article from the San Francisco Chronicle is saying this: proficiency rates for California school children dropped compared to 2019 pre-COVID. And it gives you the stats there. But bottom line, these young students, man, they have some catching up to do. And a lot of this clearly an issue of what they went through in 2020. How bothersome is that to you?
Well, it's extremely concerning. It's catastrophic for a generation of kids. And arguably, those results, the reported results, conceal how really bad it is, because a huge percentage of children dropped out or disengaged to the degree that they didn't even take the test. And the statewide results conceal the discrepancy between, low-income children and those that fared okay, those who were in private or those who had tutors at home. And so I would argue the results are even more catastrophic than this. And of course, it's very concerning, and we'll feel the results of this for many years to come. the generation is impacted, no doubt.
Yeah, and the social construct that was interrupted as well. That's a major part there. Again, something to point out that you may not see if you're talking about an 8-year-old child. You may not see until 8 years down the road of how they developed. I wanted to get to this here in the last minute. You're the author of this book, Levi's Unbuttoned. Here again, it's on your screen. The woke mob took my job but gave me my voice. Real quickly here for the viewers, about 45 seconds for you. We opened the cover of this book. What will the viewers find?
Well, it really is an explanation from the C-suite of how mob justice and the woke mob in particular is driving policy at companies across the country and suppressing debate and dissent. But ultimately, it's an exhortation to all of us to use our voices because we're the only ones that can solve this.
What is next for Jennifer Sey? I have to ask you. I mean, you've held such a powerful position, and now your course has changed. Where is this course taking you now? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know entirely. I'm very hesitant to go back into the corporate world. I appreciate and am enjoying too much being able to say what I really think right now, and I don't think that would be possible in the corporate world. Right now, I've been focused on book, and I'm making a documentary film about the impact to children and families from these prolonged school closures. So that's, that charts my next year, and I'll figure out what's next after that.
Documentary on the way. Also, the book is out now by Jennifer Sey. Jennifer, thank you so much for sharing your story with our viewers. We appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime.